We're going to do some beginning yoga with some modifications. So I will give you a pose and then provide you some modifications that will make it a little bit harder or a little bit easier. If you want props, you can have blocks, or if you have a footstool or something, or a chair that you can lean on, sometimes that's helpful, or a wall or a chair for balance as well. So we can use those as we go along. So let's get started. Let's sit down, find a comfortable seated position, whether that's with your legs out or with legs bent. And just take some deep breaths here. So putting your hands on your knees, whether they're here or whether they're here, you can have your legs here too. Have a pillow or something under here if that's more comfortable. And take some deep breaths. Breathe in, and as you breathe in through your nose, expand your chest and your stomach. And then take another breath in, just a slight one, and then breathe out through your mouth. Easy, relaxing your chest, your shoulders, pulling your belly button to your spine. You will see some kitties along here. This is kitty yoga, and they will either enhance or detract from our practice, whichever one you choose. Let's take a few more breaths here. So breathe in. Breathe in again. And then slow exhale through your mouth, relaxing your shoulders, your chest, your rib cage. Breathe in, filling your chest, your stomach with air, and breathe out. Breathe in, another slight breath in, and breathe out. Now's a good time to set an intention for your practice, whether it be something in your physical world, whether it's the tightening of your shoulders or a feeling of anxiety in your stomach, or just kind of a pain or a tightness through your eyes and your head. Think of those as you breathe in and as you do this practice. Or it could be some more emotional or spiritual aspect. You could think about healing or stress, releasing some stress out into the world. But as you think about this, as you do your practice, you can focus on that and bring in the positive energy and release the negative. So breathe in a couple more times, and in, and then out. Once more, breathe in, thinking of that positive energy you're bringing into your body, and breathe out, releasing the negative air and breath into the universe. And take your hands to the sides and place your right hand down on the mat. Bring your left hand up, stretching it towards the ceiling as you breathe in, and as you exhale, bring it over your head and do a side stretch. And you can do this with your feet out here just as you were. You don't need to change your seated position. And breathe, continue to breathe. Whether you're breathing right or not, we want you to continue to breathe. We don't want to hold our breaths on the poses. And come up, breathe in again, stretching that hand towards the sky, and breathe out. And come back to center position, both hands resting on the mat. Take your right hand up and stretch it towards the sky, and then move over to the left. Continue to breathe, and then breathe. Take it to center and stretch crown of your head like there's a string attached to the ceiling as you stretch your spine as well as your arm and side body. And breathe out, taking it to the side. Take them back to center and roll your shoulders up and back. Bring them up to your ears and then slide your shoulder blades back into your sockets. And then the opposite, go forward. Be in your seated positions, whatever's most comfortable here. Let me check our path here. And then we want to do a seated forward fold. So bringing both hands up straight to the ceiling. Straighten that back and that spine. Align all that vertebrae up. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, hinge through your hips with the flat back and go halfway down. Stretch out towards the ceiling or towards the front wall, and then come back up. Relax a little bit and then take that stretch again, just feeling how it feels to stretch out all those muscles and fill them with air, and then exhale, go halfway down. Take another inhale and stretch towards the front wall, and then exhale, round your back and drop your hands towards the floor. Wherever they are, whether you can reach your toes and your legs or whether you're at your knees, you can have your legs bent here so that you're feeling a little bit more of the stretch in your belly and your thighs are touching. And take some deep breaths here and just relax a little bit. And every time you exhale, see if you can get that belly a little bit closer to the thighs. Place your hands on the mat wherever they may be, by your knees, by your ankles, and push up one vertebrae at a time as you sit back up to a seated position. Take your right leg out past the side of your mat. Take the sole of your left foot and put it on your thigh or on your shin, not your knee, because we don't want to kick that knee out, but one place or the other. And then take your left hand, stretch it up to the ceiling on the inhale, and then take it down towards the right foot in a slight twist. Again, you don't want to use that as leverage, but use your breath as leverage in the twist of your torsos as you're making that twist. And you can take that other hand back behind you. Take a few breaths here. You can dig deeper if you want to dig a little bit deeper. And then come back to center with your torso, with your hips. Take that left foot out to the side of the mat and bring the right sole of your foot to your thigh or to your chin, whichever, that shin, not your chin, whichever way it goes. Take your right hand up, and on the exhale, reach towards that left foot. And it could be up here, it could be down here, it could be at your knee, wherever it lands as you keep breathing. You want to be able to take some deep, easy breaths as you make this stretch. And as you exhale, twist a little bit more or dig a little bit deeper. Come back to center. Bring both knees in and come up to up on your hands and knees, however way is best or easiest for you to get there. If you need to do any adjustment, do your adjustment now. Hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, in hands and knees position. As you inhale, take your face towards the front wall, lift your hips slightly so you have a slight back bend, expanding that air in you to your chest and your stomach. Exhale, tuck your chin, round your back, pull your belly button to your spine. Inhale up. Exhale, round your back. Inhale up. Exhale, round your back.
exhale, round your back. Inhale to center, and as you exhale, round your back and shift your hips back towards your heels, keeping your hands glued to the mat here in an extended child's pose, but you're stretching out your shoulders and your back as well as your knees and your hips and your hamstrings. Keep that, just take a couple breaths there. And then come back up to center. I'm going to do a bird dog. So right hand can go out, and this might just be where you stand. If you want to take your left foot with your toes pointed on the ground behind you, that's fine. If you want to bring that up to hip level, you can do that as two. Take a breath, and then bend your elbow, bend your knee, and if they can meet in the middle under your chest, that's great. If they just come back to the ground, that's fine too. But on the exhale, extend, whatever that looks like for you. And on the inhale, contract. Exhale, extend. Inhale, contract. Exhale, extend. Inhale, contract. Now inhale, exhale, or inhale, extend and hold. Find some balance on that knee and that arm. Again, if you want to take your toe to the ground or your knee under the ground, feel free to do that. Finding your balance. And then bring them both back to center. Let's do it on the other side. Left hand up on the inhale. Taking your back foot to the floor or up to hip level. Exhale, contract underneath your chest or bringing it back to center, whatever that looks like. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend and hold, finding some balance there. And then come back to center. Curl your toes, shift your hips up to the sky so that you're in downward dog. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the side version of this. And come up on your knee or your toes if you can, and then alternate your heels down like you're walking. Push your shoulders away from your ears. And kind of slightly bend your elbows like you have a beach ball in between your arms, so you're holding that. So your stress is on your muscles and not your wrists. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Put your hands on your shins, flatten your back, and come halfway up on the inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Bringing your head, crown of your head towards the floor, or as close as that looks like. If you want a block here, find a block for you. Anytime you're doing forward fold, you can have a block. Blocks have 3 levels. Down here, here, or here. Whatever works best for you. And if you're doing this, and I tell you to come halfway up, you can bend your elbows here, and then straighten them as you come up on the inhale. Always extending through your hips or bending through your hips, keeping that back flat. Soften your knees and come all the way up to standing. And let's find our mountain pose. And our mountain pose is a resting pose, but we also want it to be an active rest. So we're grounding our feet into the mat, and all 4 corners of our feet
which by that I mean the balls of your feet and your heels should be grounded and pushing down into the mat. Your toes can be up so that they're much more relaxed. Wrap your muscles around your thigh bones. Push your hips forward a little bit. Your ribs should open back, and your shoulders should roll back, and your chest should be open. Think of a string at the crown of your head, raising it towards the ceiling so your chin's just in line with the chest and the rest of your body, and not up or not down, but just in line, holding it up. Arms out, so you should feel all of your muscles engaged and being strong. This is a foundational pose for a lot of our yoga poses and our balances, and it just helps you feel the strength in your body and helps you know what's making you move and through your as you walk and stand and sit. So if we bring our hands up, stretching towards the ceiling, clasp our hands together, put your weight into your left foot, and make a seat with the body to your right. Come back up and put your weight in your right foot, making a C towards the left. Come back up, take both of your elbows down to shoulder level, like goalpost arms, and then take your right arm straight out at shoulder level. Turn your head towards that. Shoulder blades should be pushed together, and you should feel the stretch in your neck, in your arms, and your shoulders. And hold that as if you're pulling an arch. You're an archer pulling a bow. Inhale up to center. Exhale, goalpost arms. Take that left arm out, shoulder blades together, and stretch the other way. So take a slight step back. I'm going to move forward a little bit. Take a slight step back, not like as far as warrior one, but just a slight back. And then bring it up, bring that back foot up, balancing, just holding your toe at arm at above the mat, hovering it above your mat. Stretch back, hover the toe in that balance. If you want a chair here or the wall, that's fine. If you can bring your knee up and a little more of a balance, that's good too. Step back and forward in the balance. Step back and forward in the balance. Cat's throwing me off balance here. Let's shake that out and let's do the other side. Slight step back, hover the toe over the mat. Slight step back, hover the toe, or bring that knee up. Slight step back, hover the toe, or bring that knee up. Depending on your mat, it might be easier for you to balance if you're off your mat, because sometimes the softness of your mat makes it more difficult. And I might move to this mat because it's a little bit stiffer as we move into those balance poses. So nicely done. So now bring your arms up, sit down as if you're sitting in a chair, knees bent, in a twist. You can bring those arms to heart center. And then as you exhale, belly and thighs touch. You're still in your chair pose and swing your arms back into sleeping chair. And then come up into active chair. And belly and thighs touch on the exhale, swing them back, and then bring them up. Belly and thighs touch, swing back, and then bring up. Now take that right foot out if you want to take it like we were doing before. You want to take it over here on your knee, ankle on your knee, and balance there. Find a focal point and breathe into that focal point. Chair, wall is very acceptable here as we find our balance. Or if you just want to hover that leg above so that you're still getting the thigh muscles, but you're also getting that balance. Come up, shake your legs out. Let's sit into chair again. Exhale into sleeping chair. Inhale up. Exhale, sleeping chair. Inhale up. Exhale, sleeping chair. Inhale up. Bring that left foot up. Bring them to heart center. They can be wherever. Arms can be wherever you want. Want to bring it over that knee. Do that. Find a focal point. And breathe into it. You notice I'm a little wobbly. We all have our wobbly days and our stable days. If you find your focal point and breathe, sometimes you get a little bit more balance. There's the theory for you, right? Alright. So as you go up, stretch, soften your knees, and swing down, swan dive into forward fold. Again, you can have a block here if you'd like. Just trying to, as you inhale, expand, and exhale, try to sink your torso a little bit closer to your thighs. Your head down towards the floor. Take your hands behind your shins and those calves and stretch your elbows out to the side, and you'll get a good back stretch here as well as the hamstrings. Plant your hands on the mat and walk yourself back into downward dog. Come forward into plank. Stay there for a couple breaths. You can be on your knees here. When you're on your knees, I still want you to engage those arms and shoulder muscles and the core muscles, so you're using those as well. Bend your elbows back towards the back of the mat. Come halfway down and hold another breath. And then push up to full plank. Again, all of that can be done on your knees. Keeping your core and arms and shoulders engaged. Back up. And then on the next one, come all the way down to the mat. Head down. Hands under your shoulders on the inhale. Push up your shoulders up and back into cobra. Exhale, come down, turning your head to one side. Take your hands out to your hips and rest there, feeling the flatness of your back and your neck. Then come up, hands under your shoulders, push up to cobra. Exhale down, turning your head to the other side, flatten the back. Hands under your shoulders, push up to plank. And then back to downward dog. Come up into a lunge, and however ways you get there, I'm going to turn this door. Sorry, closing the door. So
find a lunge. It can be with your knee up here, your knee back here, and push your front foot towards the front of the mat a little bit. So it's not quite at a right angle, but extend it a little bit further. And then rock into it, just nice and gently. You should feel this as a hip opener through these hips and through here. And it should be opening that hip just a little bit. Now pull that foot back under your knee. Plant your hand, the same hand of that foot. So if it's your right hand, plant your right hand on the inside. And then open up towards the side wall on the inhale. Exhale down. Exhale down. Hey, just a second. I'm doing yoga. Let me stop it.